Hi AppSheet Angels, welcome back to lesson 9. I've been doing a little tinkering in the background before starting this lesson, so I actually know how it's going to go. So let's just jump straight in. Basically, and I have to stop saying basically, I want to show you how to use the input function on a button to do what I said right back at the start. So ask how many cards you want to pull and then hit save and it just pulls them all in one go. So we'll jump across to AppSheet. What we're going to do first is add a new action button. So to start off with, we're not going to do it on the home screen like this because we just want to get the button working first. So if we go to the readings, because it's going to be a button that happens to the reading data, basically. So let's just go new button, create new action. We're going to call it pull reading, and we're going to keep it here as set the data of some values, set the values of some columns in this row. We're going to change it to number. And we're also going to have cards. They're the two columns we're going to change. So let's change the icon just so it's easy to see which one's which. And let's go with the plus. Okay, and why don't we make it primary? We'll put it down here. So this button is just the one that pulls one new card. Now, under advanced, we have to go to inputs. So inputs is just a feature that lets a little pop-up come up and the user can enter something and that affects the rest of the button. Because we're going to want it to pop up and say number of cards. That's just what the input's called. The type will be number. And the default value, I think we can just leave it, but you can also just put blank quotation marks as well. That's the preparation step. Now we have to come back up to set the value of the number column, and we want it to be the input. So I believe we go underscore input, and then we dereference it with, I think, number of cards. Yeah. So that'll just say the input of how many cards. For the cards formula, I did pre-write this, so I'm just going to copy and paste it in to save some time. But we're using the top. What we're going to do is this formula does the same, random one card from the deck. However, it's actually saying, it's actually looking at the whole deck of cards basically, and it's shuffling the whole deck and picking X number of cards. And the X number is just going to be the top. So whatever's at the top of the list after it's been shuffled. And the number of how many it's going to pull is going to be set by the number column. So basically it's just saying shuffle the whole deck and however many cards the user wanted to pull that many off the top. So it's literally what you would do with a deck of cards actually. But this is just how you write it out, like in a formula on a spreadsheet. So that should just work, I think. I'll hit save first. If things don't work properly, it's always good to hit save. So it should basically wipe this out, and it should ask us how many cards once we click the button. Okay, so we've got the input pop-up, which is good. Let's say 5 cards and hit save. Yeah, and it's shuffled 5 cards. And yeah, pick the top 5. It's shuffled the whole deck and pick the top 5 cards. We'll go again, let's say 3. There you go, it's overwritten it with 3. Let's do a long one, let's say 15. Maybe you've done a really big reading. Yeah. Perfect. So that's exactly how we want it. The thing with this is it's only going to work once you've already got a reading open. So you have to come here and there's no button. That's because of the type of action, because it's setting the values of columns in a row. So it means that row has to already exist. So you have to click add. You can leave it blank and hit save. I think we can change it to that button as well, but you just have to open it and then you can press it here. So 1, 2, 3, you can see it's changing it in the background already. As soon as we do it here, it updates it. Hit save and it's pulled that many. I'll just pause it and then I'll work out the next steps, because obviously we want that either on the reading screen, so it'll open a new form and do all of that all in one go, and or we want it on the home screen. So I'll just work out how to do that part. Hi AppSheet Angels, I'm back. So I think I've worked out how to do this next part, and I just have some more minor visual tweaks I want to make that I think make the app make a lot more sense. So I'm just going to quickly show you before we get started the pull cards button. So it's nicer if we give it a display name, and I'll show you. So, oops, I meant to click. Anyway, change the display name to +1 card because we're just pulling one card, and I'll change the logo to, I think we'll go with this, but not filled in like that one. Okay. So, yep. Then if we go to views and come to the readings view, so this one, see how it says +1 card now, and it just makes a bit more sense. You click it, you add one card on top. Then the readings view, why don't we add the new button here? So we can scroll down to the card view, and here you can click action 1. See how it says on click, it means we haven't selected anything yet. So you can click pull reading, and then that will, I think it should work. Sometimes you have to hit save, so I'll just hit save first. Okay, so if we hit pull reading, it should ask us for the input, great. So let's say 3 and hit save. And it's pulled 3 new cards for us. If we hit +1, it adds one more on the end. So that's the same button here. Now you can see the +1 card is, that button's there too. All right, so I think that looks a bit nicer and it makes a bit more sense. The pull reading button for the Magician, Page of Wands, Queen of Cups. The other thing I've been wanting to change is this related cards. See how it's not necessarily in order that they were pulled in? I want to order it by the way it was pulled. I think it's a simple fix. I'm just kind of fumbling in the dark here. Yeah, that's not quite right. I think there's a way to get to this view, so I'm just going to see if I can find it. And I actually don't think there is a way you can change it. There's not really any way to do it. I looked online on AppSheet and I think it's just kind of like that. But let's move on from that and do something else instead. On the home screen, I started working on a button that would let you pull a reading straight from the home screen. So let's go to actions. Up here under home, we've got pull reading home. And I've just got it hidden while I was working on it because you can actually clone this entire template if you want a copy of it at this exact point in time or wherever I'm up to when you hit clone. It's $15 US if you want to purchase access to the link to clone this template in AppSheet. It comes with all of the images and the logo and all the tarot card images and the descriptions and everything. It's basically just a full clone of wherever this app is up to So every time I do a new lesson, like record these and I'm updating it live, you can clone it at the end and get all the new features. The link is in the description below and on firesofalchemy.com. While I'm working on it, if I have to take a break, I might like hide some features if someone clones it, so it's like not broken in the middle of them trying to clone it. That's why I brought that up. Anyway, so let's unhide it and go back to primary. So now it's here. Let's change the display icon. So this will be pull reading. Maybe we should just have it match the same as these. So I think it was book with the plus. Yeah. So where are we? Yep, I'll just turn edit back off. Now, this is a grouped execute a sequence of actions. It just means that you can put in a list of other actions and it will do them in that order all in one go. So pull reading home new. This is going to add data to add a new row to another table using values from this row. It doesn't actually have to be any values from this row, but you can include them if you want to, but we're just going to do sort of blank. So we want it to show up on the home screen. So here, I've actually got it hidden as well, but it's linked to the home screen. Do this data. Yep, so we're adding a new row to the readings table. And you can set the columns on the way in. So on the readings table, the ID is just going to be unique ID. Timestamp is just going to be now. And the other things we're not going to set just yet. So the other step in the grouped button was this view. So then I just want to take us straight to the view of that new one that we just made. So we're using the link to row feature from the expression, from a couple of lessons ago. This is just saying order by select a readings row, like by ID. True is just like kind of a blank. It doesn't really need to be anything, so you can just write true. And we're sorting it by timestamp, and descending order is true because that'll be from the newest to the oldest. Comma, and then the view is going to be readings detail. So we hit save. This can be hidden as well because we're only going to use these two as part of this grouped one. So when we press the button, it's going to execute this action here and this action. So create a new row and take us straight to that view. And so if we press pull reading home, but that was the last thing I was going to change, is just the display name. So pull reading. I think it's better to put these ones in quotes. All right, so let's hit it and see what happens. Cool, so timestamp 9/22, yep. It's generated our unique ID and it hasn't pulled any cards yet. So now we can press +1 to pull one card and just keep pulling one, or we can press pull reading. I think for this one, we might want to have it up here as well and not as a primary button. So I think it's this one here. We just change it back to prominent. I think that's, or do we want it primary? Yeah, let's just keep it primary. So we'll press that. It'll ask us how many cards, let's say 5, and hit save, and it's pulled 5 cards for us. And we can view them all here and read all about them. Cool, so yeah, it is a 2-step thing, I guess, from here, but that's about as good as we can do. I've tried working through it a few other ways and it's just getting a bit too complicated, so I'd rather just keep it like this. It's pretty easy to understand. These are all saved in readings as well, by the way, so you can get back to them here. And we've got the pull reading here and the +1 here. So you can do pull reading straight from here. I think we already tried that out before. But yeah, I think I'll leave the lesson here for now. Unless we wanted to make this a little prettier. I kind of want to hide these buttons from this view because it just doesn't look that nice. So let's go, I think, readings, layout, and we'll just hide these. So edit, we'll change to none. And delete will change. Well, you can have details, but it doesn't look that nice either. So let's just hide it. There, and it spread those buttons out, which I kind of like actually. I was even thinking of when we do the button, we can put the title in. So pull reading, at least from the home screen anyway. So it'll be new, add title, home screen, like. I don't know. It's not going to be that nice anyway. It'll just look like this. Home screen pull. But then they'll all just start saying that. Oh well. Maybe it'll just be like where you pulled it, where you did the reading from. And in the future we could, like I was thinking for the quick pull button, we can even have like a save button if you do want to save it to a reading, right? I mean, we could just add that right now. Why don't we do that quickly? That would go under deck again, and we'll create a new action, and we'll say add a new row to another table using values from this row, and we'll say save pull, and table to add to will be readings. Set these columns, we'll just make this unique ID for the ID. And then this is what we want to do. So set these columns, cards, and then it will be a column from here. So ID, it will just be the ID of whatever the card is, will be the one we set. I think, is there like timestamp? Yeah, we can set that to now. Anything else we want to set for the reading? Title. Yeah, oh, that's what I was just saying, right? So we could say quick pull add. Is that, how do we phrase it on the other one? Home screen pull. Yeah, maybe we just call it quick pull save. All right. And deck. So we can leave it in here as well, I guess. So yeah, maybe not actually. Let's make primary. And what did we want it? We just want it on quick pull reading. Yeah. So save pull, and it should save, what's that, the 7 of swords? But then it's going to have to jump us to that view as well. So this is getting a little more complicated on me. But how long has this been going? Okay, I've done longer videos. All right, let's just do it. So we're going to add another one. So this will just save it. So it should be there if we go to readings. Yeah, so it's here. And then we just want to jump to that. So we're going to have to add another one that's like save pull like view, and we're going to have to say app go to another view within this app, and the target we're going to have to do with a formula. So what did we do for this one? Link to row any. So let's just copy this and then we'll edit it. Save pull view. Okay, so we're just, actually, yeah, it is just going to be whatever the latest reading is, isn't it? Yeah, we can actually just keep it the exact same, I'm pretty sure. So the last thing we want to do is create another one. Save pull is just going to have to be hidden. Save pull view is going to be hidden as well. And then we're going to add a new one. That's going to be the grouped action. That's going to run both of these. So so it'll be save pull and then save pull view. So we'll call it save pull. I know it's going to be bad, but we're going to call it save pull save. So we can name this one save pull. Okay. Let's give it a better icon too, like save. Like a floppy disk, but I don't think people even know what that is anymore. Maybe let's have it like that. What's card? Something here. Yeah, let's just go save. I mean, what does the floppy disk look like? Good old, does look a bit dated now, to be fair. Let's go with the cloud. Yeah, let's just keep the card. Okay. Now, let's see if it works. Pull, quick pull, save pull. Yeah, so quick pull save, 10 of Pentacles. If we go home, go to quick pull. So it should save another Fool and take us there. Yep. Okay. And I like that it's at the bottom as well, so it's not ugly at the top or hasn't made it look bad or anything. I quite like that, so let's just keep it there. Cool. Well, that worked out well. And one thing I do is I keep the icon the same for all the related actions, just so later on it's less confusing for you. So I'll just do that quickly. But yeah, this is going to be the end of the lesson, I think. Thanks for sticking with me for this one. Sometimes there are features you run into that you can't add, or things that you just, maybe you can do it, but it's going to be really complicated, and then it's like, is it worth it? So I just like showing you things that are pretty achievable. Yeah, but this is going well. Readings is getting pretty full. I might delete some of these, so when people clone the template, it's not full up. Deck's looking good. We can save pull from here. And what does that do? Yeah. But then that's a quick pull save. So do we want that? And I think that would be save pull. It would be this one. And we could say only show if. Yeah, maybe we'll say only show if quick pull in quick pull view. So we can, I think, do this, the same one we used for this. In context view, quick pull detail. Yeah, because that means it'll only show up on that screen. So we go to save pull, behavior, only show if this is true. In the view, quick pull detail. Save. Yeah, and then it's gone from here, but is it still here? Yep. Perfect. All right. Well, let's wrap up the episode there. I'll catch you in the next one. Let me know also in the comments, actually, are there any features you want to see me add? Let me know in the comments and I might put it in the next lesson.